Hi, everyone. It's Olga Fleming, CEO of Good Fuse, and I'm joined today by my partner in crime, so to speak, Courtney Walker.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about something that, is near and dear to our heart, which is humanity. And humanity in a world where it feels a little upside down, and something that we feel gets a little short shrift, especially when words like humanity and human become jargony buzzwords in our communications world. So, as everybody knows, or most of you know, we actually rebranded about 6 months ago from YNR to Good Fuse. And Good Fuse is a representation of our, ethos. And by that I mean, we felt like we were infusing good and human into everything that we did from inception of the agency. And we leaned into that with our rebranding. And the feedback that we've gotten from our rebranding has been amazing and awesome. Wouldn't you say, Courtney?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that people said how different it was. It was a different look. It was a different feel, and it was clear. And I think this is sort of the point that humanity, as the way we define it, just was infused in everything that we did.
Right.
Infused into culture, infused in our colors, infused in our website,
Right.
infused in all our communications, and yeah, definitely sort of what animates us.
Right. And, for us, humanity has become the way that we work, not only in the way that we approach the business, but in the way that we treat our colleagues, in the way that the relationships that we have with our clients. So it was very interesting because there were a few people that said, oh, well, humanity, hasn't that become a buzzword? In fact, I dare say there was like an week article where they were looking at companies that had rebranded and called our rebranding out as being, oh, it's another one of those jargony buzzwords. And at the time, Courtney and I looked at that and then we were like, but they don't get it. They don't get it. And now I start to believe that I understand why some people look at human and humanity much like, I would say a year ago, we were looking at words like authenticity as jargony or buzzwordy. And it's because, unfortunately, what is happening is that these words that are so valuable, important, and meaningful are getting integrated into, dare I say, taglines when the full meaning and value of their and their purpose isn't necessarily true.
People, I find that brands are not living up to the expectations and the common definition of everybody has for that word. So, humanity, as an example, to me, humanity means vulnerability.
Right.
Humanity does not necessarily mean that you put um, pictures of people on your website if you're a pharma company.
Right.
Pharma means that you are willing to kind of go there with your communications. Similar to, say, transparency. Transparency to me does not mean that you disclose information because the ball happened to break your way.
Right.
Transparency means that you are transparent, good and bad, and don't spin me,
Right,
basically.
exactly. And I think it's one thing to say the word or put it in a narrative, a tagline, a
Mhm.
phrase, and it's another thing to live the word, right? So I think that as communicators, we need to be careful as we help companies brand themselves in this new world where humanity is table stakes, that we use the word in its true purpose. Because as you said, there is a level of to be human is to be vulnerable.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because I find that organizations or brands are willing to take on that word, but then not willing to open themselves up.
Absolutely.
And I would say that in the last month, I've seen several situations where that has come back to become a little bit of an issue for some organizations because they have human in their tagline, but then an issue arises and they aren't necessarily being human in their response. And so, for whatever reason, right? But, we have to, as responsible communicators, really ensure that word choice is very accurate and that the full choice of what we're intending our words to mean is something that we can live up to, right? We have to walk the talk, as everybody says. So just some musings from us as we kind of look at our world a little bit differently and talk about, how companies really are navigating an environment where humanity has such an important, part of what we do and how we see the world. So thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on our next vlog.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.